10A deduction. Nevertheless, now because of the domestic TP, you have a double-edged sword, especially in the cross-border transactions. If it is less, then you have a international TP risk. If it is more, then you have a domestic TP risk. There is just one issue that I'll deal with it, and then we'll pause because we have to end the session at a specified time. One major issue, and this is a major issue which is there, is let's say you have a head office. Let us take a example of a pharma company. Pharma company which has carried on research and development for several years. Okay, it has multiple undertakings. Certain undertakings are, let us say, situated in SEZ. Certain undertakings are situated in the specified zones and therefore are eligible for ATIC deduction, etc. And certain undertakings are tax-paying units. Now, head office over the years has incurred the expenditure for research and development for certain medicines. Okay, the head office also incurs the administrative cost and common corporate costs, like the salary of CFO, salary of CEO, branding, marketing, advertisement, etc., etc. The question is that in case of tax holiday units, should there be a charge of all these costs? And there are two types of costs. Let's look at them. One is common administrative cost, like the salary and the head office expenses. Should there be an allocation of these costs? Number one. Number two, and this is specifically in case of technology or pharma where the IP is an important factor. If a new unit is set up which starts manufacturing a particular drug, or a new technology unit is set up in SEZ which gets a IP in the technology and starts exporting it and starts earning a profit which is exempt under section 10AA, should this tax holiday unit pay a royalty because it has got this IP, valuable IP on table on day one? Because these are the two separate questions. So let's look at them. Let's first look at the cost recharge, the head office expenses that are incurred. The question is it a transaction under ATIA 8 or 10? ATIA 8 refers to the second line over here, where any goods or services held for the purposes of any other business are transferred to the eligible business. Here, some people have given a view that at least for common corporate costs, there is no service provided. Head office is not providing any service to the undertaking by paying a CFO salary, etc. And therefore, ATIA 8 should not apply, and therefore domestic TP compliance for this cost allocation should not apply. I do not agree with this view. I think ATIA 8 is a hypothetical situation. It's a hypothesis that we are creating. Any common costs which a head office is incurring, they must be allocated across units, whether it is taxable unit or non-taxable units. So that is one point for sure. The next complication is, should there be a markup on these allocations? Now the rules of head office allocation which we will apply in the international TP will also become relevant, whether it is a service or not. And I'm sure, I think there is a specific session on the cost allocation and how the transfer should be done. Those same principles should even apply in case of domestic TP. The second point which I mentioned, and as I said, I would like your quick points of view on the IP which is developed for, let's say, last 20 years, and a new unit is set up, new unit starts manufacturing it. Of course, there is no otherwise a royalty payment because it's my unit only which is producing these things and exporting it and claiming the deduction under 10AA. Can the assessing officer invoke domestic TP and ATI 10 and say that there should have been certain royalty payments and seek to deny the deduction? That is a point. Any views on this? Any views? Alright, if you look at the way ATI 8 has been worded, and with a greater focus of domestic DP documentation, FAR analysis, when the FAR analysis of that undertaking is done, the question will come: who owns the IP, where the development cost had happened, etc., etc. And that situation, I mean, a royalty kind of a situation would become relevant. I'm not saying domestic TP has changed anything, but there will be a sharper focus on this issue post the new law. So, one last point, the penalties. As I said, this is one reason why you need to be careful about domestic TP, 2% of the value of the transactions. And the company law, new company law provisions also implement arm's length principle that should be, like international TP, should also be considered for domestic TP as well. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Amey. I think we can have 2-3 questions. If somebody has any specific issue.
You talked about safe harbor rules for electric companies, right? Does it apply to units? If I have an eligible unit under ATI,